So Ines asked me to speak today about 3 areas. So the first is around ways in which we are trying to support research from Africa, from the global south and to the global south. And then secondly, why we are doing so. And then lastly, to cover some ways in which we're raising awareness of developing country initiatives internally. So just by way of introduction, I work as an editorial director for Taylor & Francis. I focus on the Africa program, which covers all subject areas. And then in the other half of my job, I look after our Global Arts and Humanities Journals program. And then I'm also involved informally with our sustainability initiatives. And I'm joined here by various colleagues from other departments too. So I'm sure they'll look forward to meeting everyone. And yesterday I was at a conference in which Ruth was speaking, Business Fights Poverty, held at the Saïd Business School at Oxford University. And that was a very good precursor to this meeting. And the big focus was on collaboration. And but I think what's coming out even more today is talking about some of the practicalities and, as was mentioned earlier by other speakers, the speed bumps and gaps and some of the on-the-ground challenges, and that was not coming out so much yesterday. So I think it's good to pick up on some of those areas. Well, absolutely essential for us going forward, all to keep on dialoguing and understanding what the difficulties and opportunities are. So yes, I'm going to press on, and I'm going to cover firstly, yes, how are we trying to support research around the world? The first area, as much has been said about access today, and of course there are a lot of different ways of access being delivered or being attempted across the world, and a lot of it's in partnership to try and increase the affordability for low-income countries. We know about INASP's country partner schemes, really building up consortia, library consortia in partner countries. We know about Research for Life, which is growing and developing and moving into new areas like law. In future, TEAL, the offline database focusing on agricultural resources. Other partners, IFL, African Journals Online, the ACU's print scheme. There are a whole multitude of different schemes. And I guess our challenge is to try and make it as easy as possible for those users to get, well, for all of us to get our heads around how to access these various mechanisms. And of course, increasing investment in open access. The next area really is around authorship, but more generally, content generation, knowledge production. So not only, I think in the past, the focus in relation to the Global South was a lot on providing access, but increasingly it's about recognizing the absolutely essential knowledge production that comes from the Global South, and the participation in the knowledge economy. So working with partners like AuthorAid and our many society partners, association partners, NGOs, funders, etc., on all sorts of different resources and mechanisms, the workshops of different kinds around writing, strengthening peer review, navigating the world of predatory publishing. I think all publishers are increasingly called on by research communities and libraries to help deliver workshops and trainings and documentation, so we can that's an area for more collaboration. And like other publishers, we also do offer the waivers and discounts for open access. But clearly, we all need to do more to clarify what those pathways are, and try and simplify those journeys that authors have to make. And the third broad area is around engagement. So this is all around research communication, uptake. How do we, that holy grail of trying to translate research into action, and to find clever ways of communicating key findings. What are the ways we can debate issues? And so we also do a lot around helping equip authors to communicate their research findings, and increasingly recognizing the importance of altmetrics, etc. And looking at innovative partnerships. Just recently, we've established a partnership with the Conversation Africa, and we are working hard to empower and facilitate researchers in developing compelling journalistic articles around their research, and just keeping on experimenting around trying to take research beyond the academy. So why do we support various initiatives in the Global South? So for a whole host of reasons, which I can't begin to encapsulate here, but at a basic level, I think we all appreciate the concept of all this knowledge that is being produced, which is tried and tested, believing that all this body of knowledge can make a difference to the world we live in, whether it's dealing with climate change or gender inequality, etc. And it's about trying to find ways of disseminating and taking up that research that we're all producing. So at a company level, reach, and what I've simplified is reach and usage. So in trying to support research from the Global South and making available research more generally to the Global South, it's around us wanting to go as far as possible around the world and see those downloads, actually getting some sense of the researchers and librarians being taking up articles and books and gaining access to the research, and also other measures like altmetrics, citations, etc. So it's wanting to be as far-reaching as possible. Then on the authorship side, it's recognizing the growing outputs from around the world. Research is forever evolving. Countries are, emerging economies are producing more research. Clearly China is the extreme case. That line shooting up there, it's soon to outstrip the USA in terms of research output. But many other countries, countries in other countries in Asia Pacific, South America, Central America, some in Africa, all having increasing research outputs. So as a publisher, if we choose to ignore, or we don't give enough attention to those outputs, then we're falling behind. So we need to keep up, and we need to facilitate. And then ultimately it's to engage and to learn, and to have forums like this, and to get out and meet with librarians and researchers and policymakers on the ground to better understand what challenges and opportunities people are dealing with. So just lastly, about sharing information internally. So we set up a cross-departmental working group last year, and this is an attempt to bring different stakeholders together and to make sure that we're all sharing what we're up to, and we're getting the best possible outcomes from our various endeavors, and then going beyond that to finding ways of communicating the initiatives across the company through having an up-to-date and dynamic intranet site, a lot of briefings of different kinds, and dealing with lots of Q&A, keeping everyone up to date with new developments, and then just keeping on being open to what's coming through from our customers, our partners, and to keep trying to close those gaps. So that's where we've gotten to thus far, and yes, Sean asked me to do a blog piece just to wrap up some of the initiatives which is on the INASP site. Thank you.
Great, thank you.